We are joined by Deputy Mayor of Shanghai and Daily Supply Guarantee Team, Mr. Chen Tong, Madam Wu Qianyu, Level 1 Council of the city. May I first give the floor to Deputy Mayor Chen Tong and for him to update you about the supply of daily necessities. Dear friends from media, good morning. At present, we are at the most critical stage in the fight of COVID-19 in Shanghai. President Xi Jinping attaches great importance to this very important fight. He has made important instructions. The CPC Central Committee and State Council made important decisions on the fight against COVID-19 in Shanghai, and different municipalities and provinces in the city have extended their strong support to Shanghai. And all the people here in Shanghai stand in solidarity against the COVID-19. The CPC Shanghai Municipal Committee and the municipal government are making sure that we supply sufficient daily necessities to the residents. For every issue reported or complained about by the residents, we try to solve the supply issue immediately and almost overnight. According to the Party Secretary of the CPC Municipal Committee of Shanghai, we have to ensure the supply of 25 million people in Shanghai. Under strong support from all sides, we can supply and guarantee the supply of food and agricultural products. In the meantime, we have locked the provision of necessities of vegetables and pork from outside the region of Shanghai. At a time when supermarkets and the shopping malls are not in operation, we also saw a decline of the supplying capacity in e-commerces, and that is posing some difficulties of the last mile transportation and supply. And sometimes the daily supplies cannot reach the doorsteps of our residents, and we are making every possible efforts to step up the efforts. Number one, we are focusing on improving the efficiency. We have in place unified and collective purchases and procurement. We are aligning our efforts with shopping malls and supermarkets and e-commerce platforms and group providers. We are pulling together different providers to cover and meet the basic needs of the residents. The residents, they can place orders online, and the supermarkets, they will handle the order, and volunteers will deliver their commodities to their doorsteps. This is a process involving the residential communities and also grassroots government. The government has mobilized state-owned enterprises to get engaged. The vegetable packages delivered at the residential community level will cover the entirety of the city. If we have some loopholes that you have identified, our residents can make a call to the service hotline at different districts or sub-districts, and we will come up with a better supply. Second, we are going to focus on some key loopholes and weak links. We will establish a white list for supply. Wholesale market, distribution centers and warehouses, and also key restaurants and cafeterias, they will be singled out if they have a record of providing good supply. Wherever necessary, we will come up with supermarkets that can provide vegetables and food, pharmaceutical shops. So even when they are closed, they will not suspend their business and they can handle online orders. At the key control areas, we will put in place those very strict measures and also put in place some preferential measures to help those businesses resume their activities. And we will also carefully determine the number of staff allowed to be back to their posts. We will take measures such as social distancing to ensure COVID-19 prevention. And number 3, we will solve the problem of understaffing. We support logistics companies to mobilize resources from nationwide so that we can come up with more staff. Delivery men that's currently confined in their residential communities are encouraged to come out of their confinement and to get engaged in logistics services. We are aligning with e-commerce platforms to improve our supplying capacity so as to solve the last mile issue that we are currently facing. We hope that the volunteers can play a more active role. They can set up logistic teams and focus just on the last 100 meter or 1,000 meters of the logistic chain. Number 4, we will crack down on speculations and also violations in price stability. We have released a number of regulations against price speculations. We will leverage administrative penalties to warn of such violations and actions. We encourage all the different business sectors to discipline themselves. We crack down on speculation, on business activities such as providing substandard products to the market. Over the past few days, we have handled 155 cases of price speculations, and some of the cases have been disclosed to the public, and we will ramp up our efforts to further fight price speculations. And here, I would like to thank our residents for reporting relevant information. We encourage the residents to dial the service number of 12315 to report price speculations and market violations. Dear residents, we are with you at this critical moment. We are looking at your appeals and also your status. We thank you for your understanding and for your cooperation. Please be assured, and also please supervise on our efforts. All the government cadres and Communist Party members will be standing with you in solidarity, and we will take the forefront, and we will never be complacent of our efforts, nor will we slacken our effort. The fight today will determine the success tomorrow. At this critical point, we are more than grateful to your staunch support. As long as we can stand united together, we will build a strong defense line against COVID-19. By the time that we claim victory against COVID-19, we will walk out and enjoy the sunshine all together. Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Chen Chong. May I now give the floor to Madam Wu Qianyu. Dear friends from the media, good morning. On April the 6th, we had 322 new cases and 19,660 asymptomatic cases. Among the 322 new confirmed cases, 12 are identified in closed-loop areas and 250 are identified through NAT. 15 cases have been confirmed from originally asymptomatic cases. Among the 19,660 asymptomatic cases, 19,200 of them have been identified in closed-loop areas, and 400 of them have been identified in key risk areas. Among the 322 confirmed cases, we have 156 males and 166 females. By district, in Pudong, we have 150, Changning 31, Jing'an 27, Putuo District 27 cases, Minhang 21, Xuhui 19 cases, Yangpu District 12 cases, Huangpu District 9 cases, Baoshan 9 cases, Jiading 6 cases, Qingpu 4 cases, and 3 cases from Jinshan District, 2 new cases from Songjiang District, and 1 new confirmed case in Huangkou District. All the 322 newly confirmed cases, they have been so determined by medical diagnosis, such as imagery, and also other modern medical diagnosis, and they have so been determined as newly confirmed COVID-19 cases. With respect to the 19,660 asymptomatic cases, the public can obtain more information from the Shanghai Information Release public WeChat accounts. And they have been tested positive for nucleic acid test. They have been so determined as asymptomatic cases of COVID-19. As of 9 o'clock, April 7, we have identified more than 140,000 people with close contact, within which more than 120,000 of them have tested negative for nucleic acid. We are currently covering the remaining part of this population with NAT. We also traced more than 110,500 people with secondary close contact. We are currently conducting a NAT within such population. Today, citywide, we are continuing with antigen test and nucleic acid test so that we can report and find potential cases early. We will make careful plans to cover different links, for example, sampling, transportation of the samples, and also testing of those samples so that we can very quickly identify the confirmed cases and transport them to quarantine centers. We hope that you can all cooperate with us. Over the past few days, a lot of the volunteers, they have engaged in this effort in a spirit of solidarity and cooperation, and we hope that we can all follow the arrangement of the residential communities and to take part in this very important fight in a batch-by-batch manner and orderly fashion. Thank you very much to Madam Wu Qianyu, and now we're going to open the floor for questions. When you ask a question, please identify yourself. Our journalist on line 12. Thank you very much. I'm with Xinmin Evening News. I have a question for special population groups. How should we solve their needs? For example, the senior citizens and also infants. Thank you very much for your question. And this is a very critical question. We have established an emergency supply channel. This is mainly covering senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and also infants. We have a clear division of responsibilities. We respect the cause and appeals of each and every citizen. We are currently optimizing the citizen service hotline 12315 and also optimizing the daily supply service hotline at the sub-district level. We are improving the efficiency of our solutions so that we can respond effectively to every call of our residents. We're working together with major shopping malls and supermarkets and e-commerce platforms At the e-commerce platforms, we have established a special channel to ensure the daily supply of mothers, infants, and senior citizens. You can make a try if you place an order on Meituan or Yonghui or other e-commerce platforms. You will have the order immediately handled after it's placed. In the meantime, Civil Affairs Bureau, Women's Federation, and the Federation for Persons with Disabilities, they are stepping up their efforts as well. We have made it very clear that different jurisdictions, they have to ensure the supply of daily necessities for special groups of people. And this is covering office buildings, hotels, restaurants, factories, manufacturing plants, and construction sites. And for special groups of people working in those sectors and areas, and they will also have their supply needs ensured. Let me encourage you that when you are making a complaint or reporting a need, you have to articulate your address, your contact information, so that we can feedback in a very effective and efficient manner. Over the past few days, we have seen good neighborliness between different residents, and if you identify a need from your neighbors, you are welcome to report the situation to us immediately. Next question, please. Line 25. Thank you very much. I'm with China Daily. My question is also to Deputy Mayor Chen Tong. Under lockdown, we are serving the special groups of population, and we have noticed that there are difficulties in purchasing baby formula. And how should we solve this problem? Thank you for your question. And recently, we are working together with different platforms, and we found out that there is a supply shortage in terms of baby formula, and there is a huge demand in this particular segment. We have already designated this issue as a priority, and we will come up with better supply and logistics in this particular segment. We encourage different supermarkets and shopping malls and e-commerce platforms to give priority to this particular product category. For other products in this category, we are working together with Carrefour and other supermarkets brands to step up their supply. We help the enterprises to solve their problems in logistics so that they can have their delivery capacity enhanced. And over the past 10 days, the supermarkets, they can sell more than 3,500 sets of baby formula, and they also have a sufficient inventory. So during the epidemic, our residents can place orders from the e-commerce platforms of those brands, and those enterprises or supermarkets chains, they will deliver the products that you order with their own logistic channels. And we have streamlined a couple of enterprises. We have issued pass certificates to them. Recently, we have identified more qualified enterprises in this category so that we can better meet the demands of the general public. For example, yesterday there was a family who specifically asked a brand of baby formula, and we immediately dispatched 600 cans of such baby formula with a special configuration. And by midnight yesterday, the products have arrived in Shanghai. We are working together with Ele.me and Meituan platforms to align their efforts with those platforms so we can truly meet the needs of the general public, and their difficulties can be solved immediately. Should the public encounter any further difficulty, and they can dial the number 12315. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question, please. Our journalist on line 1, please.
谢谢主持人。人民日报记者。
Thank you very much.
请问
I'm with People's
这两天
Daily.
感染者数量还在高位上升，如何
Over the
做好
past
分类
few
管理？
days, the
对于后
infection
续方
is
舱医院的
still
重
on the
重症
rise.
和新
How
增
should
阳性
we
感染者
put
的
in
安置，
place
政府有什么考虑？谢谢。
group-based diagnosis and treatment? And is there any special plans for makeshift hospitals or quarantine sites? Thank you very much for your question. And recently, Shanghai is following the national level treatment guidelines for confirmed cases, and they are put into different categories. And mainly, we have designated hospitals. Priority is given to ordinary types of confirmed cases and above, and this is mainly in designated hospitals. And for those with mild cases and asymptomatic cases, and this includes some pregnant women, infants, and senior citizens, and they need some special care. So, and bearing in mind that some of them have pre-existing conditions or chronic disease, so they need some special care. For the remaining part of the asymptomatic cases and the mostly quarantined and observed from a medical perspective, we put in place some targeted treatment methods. We're also using traditional Chinese medicine, and so far the results has been quite satisfactory. And for senior citizens who have, for example, diabetes and high blood pressure, and also for those who have recovered from cancer, we are following their situation very closely. Efforts are made to follow their health status so that we can stamp the transition from mild cases into severe cases. At the cabin hospitals, we are mainly accommodating asymptomatic cases and cases with a very mild scenario. Traditional Chinese medicine is adopted as a treatment tool to cover this population so that we can adjust the immune system of those population, and wherever necessary, they will be immediately transported to a designated hospital. And since this wave of the infection, we have initiated a couple of cabin hospitals and designated hospitals, and currently we are renovating some public facilities into cabin hospitals. For example, the National Convention Center in Shanghai, after renovated, it will feature more than 40,000 beds. And this will help us meet the requirement that whoever needs to be hospitalized and treated are given the proper care. Thank you. Next question, please. Our journalist on line 24, you have the floor. Thank you very much. This is 21st Century News. We learned that there are some infection cases outside the closed-loop area. Is there any response to this question? Well, I will answer this question, and let me tell you that we have a temporary pass certificate that is issued by authorities and district government. And this is a certificate used specially for emergencies and also for important logistic missions. We have made it very clear that those issuing the certificate has to be responsible for the utilization and supervision of the certificates. In the meantime, they will have to register the recipients of such certificate. When they are using the certificate, if they violate the COVID-19 rules and measures or pose a difficulty for the COVID-19 measures, they will be held accountable in a very strict manner. In the meantime, we welcome the general public to supervise on this issue. And yesterday there was one such case, and one man who publicly claimed that he can sell or obtain such certificate. And the Public Security Bureau has got involved. And midnight today, there was a notice issued by the Public Security Bureau of Shanghai, and the person is now held accountable for his wrongdoings. Next question, please. Our journalist on line 19, you have the floor. Thank you very much. I'm with Youth Daily. I have a question to Mao Fang, who is deputy president of Meituan. And during the lockdown, a lot of the customers place orders on your platform, but still they have a difficulty of getting the order delivered to their doorsteps. What is your response to this question? Well, thank you very much for your question. And during the lockdown, we have a strong presence here in Shanghai. We are a leading e-commerce business in China. A couple of measures have been taken to solve this issue for the purchases of vegetables, and we face the problem of logistics. We are currently encouraging collective orders, and we hope that the orders can be placed by residential community, and priority is given to key residential communities. And the service has now been opened to Yangpu, Songjiang, Baoshan, Xuhui, and Putuo. In the coming days, we're going to further expand this service to cover more jurisdictions. And after they have consolidated their order in the community, the products will be delivered to them immediately. And so far, we have delivered more than 200,000 packages of vegetables. And there is also an issue that we face in product sorting. To that end, we have mobilized more than 1,000 employees from nationwide to come to Shanghai and to solve this problem. And we're going to further ramp up our efforts in this particular category. And also, we have group dining services at some of the residential communities. Because the lockdown has been there for a couple of days, some special groups of people, for example, senior citizens, they have a particular needs for dining. So that's why we have set up a special task force within our company. And on March the 3rd, this service was put online, and they can purchase food directly from our platform, and they can place an order. When there is when the community reaches a quantitative standard, then the order will be handled. Currently, this group food purchase service has been put online. We are covering more than 4,500 residential communities, covering more than 5 million residents in Shanghai. As of March the 7th, we have delivered more than 70,000 food packages, and going forward, we're going to ramp up our effort. And of course, on those two particular service items, they were put online during the epidemic. And going forward, how should we further refine these two product categories? We have to further leverage the technical staff of our company, and also we have to rely on the efforts of our community-level volunteers, because they can solve the last 100 meters logistics of this issue. And we have to work closely together with grassroots cutters so that we can jointly improve the supply of those very important products. And number 3, we have an emergency task force. For example, on March the 3rd, we established an emergency assistance service, and this is mainly serving senior citizens and persons with disabilities. If you just log on to the Meituan app, you will find it on the homepage. So you can place an order online, be it a food package, a vegetable, or a medicine. And as of April 7th, we have collected more than 20,000 such orders, and 20% of them are related to infants, and 60% of them are related to senior citizens. We are aligning our efforts with different authorities and agencies of the Shanghai municipality so as to better meet the needs of the residents. Currently, we can only meet 34% of all the requirements. Bearing in mind that this is a service just put online, we still have some gaps and we won't be able to immediately meet all the requirements very quickly. So we hope that only when truly necessary you can place such an order so that we won't jam the service. We have mobilized some automatic vending machines from Shanghai, and yesterday you saw the video clips that those vending machines they have been put in use in Kangqiao Station, helping the residential communities to solve the last mile logistic issue. Tomorrow in the campus of Fudan University and today in some more neighborhood, this vending machine will be applied to serve more population. In the meantime, all the staff working at Meituan, they are tested with their nucleic acid and antigen on a daily basis, and they have to be healthy in the first place, and they are critical to the city's logistics capabilities. Thank you very much. Last two questions, please. Our journalist on line 15, please, you have the floor. Thank you very much for your question. I'm with Oriental News. My question is to Deputy Mayor Chen Tong. So what measures do you have on protecting the health of the delivery people outside the residential communities? Thank you very much for your question. We have noticed the concerns of the netizens. What if our delivery boy get infected? And what if our packages carry the virus? Please be assured that we have a closed-loop management for those people. We have intensified NAT for those groups of people, and just now the representative from Meituan has said it very well. Each and every day before they take their post, they will have an antigen test. Each day before they are released from work, they have to conduct another round of a nucleic acid test. So their health status is put in very strict observation. Personal protection is ensured. We also ask explicitly that those supermarkets and shopping malls involved in this emergency service program has to do a good job in ensuring the health and safety of all their employees. We encourage people to use to scan the QR codes just so that we can get their whereabouts. Here I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to those delivery boys running on different streets, large and small, over the past few days. We will provide sufficient food to them, and they will have time to have meals and also take a rest. We have designated NAT sites. We have green channels for them. When they do a nucleic acid test, their report will come out very quickly. Should they need any COVID-19 prevention-related equipment or supplies, then they will have this requirement immediately solved. And also, we encourage contactless delivery so as to minimize the risk of infection. Thank you. Last question, please. Line 11, you have the floor. Thank you very much. I'm with Wenhui newspaper. My question is to Deputy Mayor Chen Tong. A huge amount of commodities and goods have been donated from all over the country, and how should we best utilize such supplies? Thank you for your question. There is a lot of questions on those supplies. We have gathered support from neighboring provinces and cities. We have received a lot of donations. In Shanghai, the Shanghai Red Cross Society is pulling together all the supplies donated from across the country here. I would like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you, and we will remember the great support that you have extended to us at those difficult times. And to better use these supplies, we have formulated a standard and set up a task force to take in those supplies, distribute them to different people in needs. We have a information list, supply list, certificate list, a thank you list, and also a guarantee list. All the supplies donated to Shanghai, they will, each and every one of them will be registered, and they will be delivered to the residential communities that need them the most. For those donated supplies, they will be used under the supervision of all stakeholders. All right, thank you very much. This is the end of this briefing today. If you have any further questions, you can get in contact with the Municipal Health Commission of Shanghai and also the Shanghai Municipal Government. Thank you.